Hey, 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 it's AAA Wednesday, which stands for Ask Alyssa Anything. This is my weekly Q&A session where I'm responding to questions you've left in the comments about the publishing industry and how to write a better book. This is my weekly thank you to all of my amazing subscribers. Thank you so much for allowing this channel to grow, and I've so enjoyed connecting with so many of you. Before we head into today's questions, 2 pieces of housekeeping. Number 1, if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button to join this wonderful, supportive community. And number 2, before we dive in, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel and helps with the YouTube algorithm in ways I don't understand. All right, without further ado, let's dive into the first question today. I'd like to know if authors and editors are moving to Threads, the Instagram answer to Twitter. Some people think Threads may finally take Twitter down. I'm not sure of that, but I would like to know if editors and authors are moving over. So I think this question came a few weeks ago when Threads made its debut and everyone signed up for it. Everyone downloaded the app. I certainly did. I wanted to make sure I was on there if there was a mass migration from Twitter to Threads. And so far, that has not happened. I do see people in the publishing industry posting their Threads handle and mentioning that they're available there if people are moving over. But to be quite honest, I'm still seeing Twitter being used primarily. None of these other platforms, like Mastodon was one for a while, have really fully taken off. And as far as I can tell, there's still plenty of people on Twitter engaging with the writing community, though now it is called X, I guess, for some reason. So this is something we're just going to have to see play out. As far as I can tell, the publishing industry is still primarily using Twitter. Here's the next question. My husband and I were watching a show the other night, and while it is well acted, there was twist after twist, then another twist at the end. I say to my husband, I don't think in the real world that would have happened. It didn't feel necessarily completely contrived, but it did not feel natural. I said to him, it feels like everything out there now must have a twist. It is getting tiresome. And I said, why does everything have to have one? He replied, because people don't know how to write a good story anymore. What are your thoughts? Is this what editors want? Twist after twist, a big boom at the end? Even in my favorite shows, they are now going down this path, and I'm just not as engaged as I once was. So a good plot twist can be really good. It makes the reader gasp in awe. It makes everything come together in a way that the reader didn't anticipate, and it gives us a sense of satisfaction and resolution. That said, a poorly executed plot twist ruins the entire book, right? If it feels contrived, then you erode your reader's trust. If it's unnecessary, then the reader feels like it just came out of thin air and doesn't fit the rest of the story. I specialize in mysteries and thrillers, so I'm working with a lot of plot twists all the time. Ultimately, a plot twist is a reveal, right? It's a form of reveal in a story. And it's very important that stories have reveals, because the beauty of engaging with a story and what makes a reader so captivated by it is that we're building up to learning something, and then we make that discovery and feel a certain way about it, right? Either shock or satisfaction or closure, right? And that reveal can either be something that we've wanted to know all along but haven't actually heard in the story yet, like a piece of backstory of a certain character, or it can be something like a plot twist, right? It can subvert our expectations of what we thought a character was doing or what we thought had happened. A plot twist isn't a lazy device by any means. It is very, very difficult to execute an effective one. And it's ultimately one form of revelation in the story. It sounds like you're speaking to plot twists that just aren't executed very well and feel like they are there just to make the reader gasp, and they aren't earned. They're not what the reader is asking for. Some stories naturally lend themselves to plot twists, such that if there isn't a twist, the reader's actually going to be unsatisfied. So one example of this would be if you're writing a murder mystery and you have all this build up to one specific character being the suspect. There's piece of evidence after piece of evidence leading us to this person. If that person then ends up being revealed as the culprit, that's not really going to be that interesting to the reader because we thought it was them all along. This is a case where we expected and frankly probably need some kind of plot twist, in that you need to subvert our expectations in some way regarding how the mystery plays out. That said, not all stories need a plot twist. Maybe you're writing a family saga, and really the suspense in the story is wound around this secret that someone is hiding from another character, and then that secret finally comes out. That's not necessarily a plot twist, it's just a reveal of something that we have been aware has been simmering under the surface all along. So the crux of your question is, are editors looking for huge twists, big, huge revelations at the end? The answer is not necessarily, and it depends on the story. If a twist is what's going to make the story most captivating and engaging to a reader, then it's likely a good idea to have one. But if a twist feels thrown in there, is not earned, is contrived, comes out of left field, then obviously the story should not have that twist. Before we dive into the next question, I wanted to let you know about a free resource I made specifically for my YouTube community called my Story Self-Assessment Worksheet. It's a free worksheet designed to help you identify your own story's strengths and weaknesses so you can look at it with fresh eyes and make it even stronger on the next draft. The link is in the description below, and downloading that is going to sign you up for my newsletter, where I publish exclusive interviews with publishing industry professionals and successfully published authors, so you don't want to miss out on all of their amazing tips and advice. If you want to go straight to the newsletter, the link is also in the description. We have time for one more question today. Would you be open to doing a live editing demonstration? Perhaps where you take a scene and then edit it in real time to showcase how to improve things via the editing process. Maybe not necessarily proofreading, but how you tweak things as a developmental editor to make them stronger. So this is something that has honestly been on my mind for several months now. I have been thinking about ways I might be able to show more hands-on editing examples, because I get the sense that that would be really helpful to see, right? Especially because authors might not always know what a developmental edit looks like prior to engaging with an editor. Authors might not know, for example, the types of edits they can expect to receive, or what types of things we're evaluating in your story in a developmental stage. I honestly want to hear your feedback on this, because where I'm struggling is figuring out what that would look like in terms of the content I provide you. Because I'm a developmental or structural editor, I'm always editing a story holistically, meaning I'm editing it from the perspective of having read the entire thing, knowing the beginning and middle and end, and then helping you draw out certain aspects of it, understanding where the story goes and your big picture vision for it. So honestly, my issue with showing you edits in real time would be if you're just getting a small amount of text, which is all we'd really be able to go over together, then it's hard for me to do developmental work not knowing the big picture of the story, right? I hope that makes sense. Sure, I might be able to show you how to tweak dialogue to create more conflict between the characters, or how to write a stronger description of a certain character so that the reader gets a fuller picture of them. But those are almost smaller issues than I really deal with as a developmental editor when I'm talking big picture structure of a story. So let me know in the comments if you guys have any ideas of how I would show you developmental editing when we can't read an entire novel together and edit it together, right? I really would love to hear your ideas, because I do want to bring more of my tactical editing insights to you. I'm just struggling to figure out how to do that in a way that makes sense for the style of editing that I conduct. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you have a question for me, drop it in the comments here and it will be added to my queue. Before you head out, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying these sessions, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and grab your free Story Self-Assessment Worksheet and check out my newsletter link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching and happy writing.